Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYNT Mountain News at 11.
Good evening, I'm Macy Marie. The grieving continues in New Zealand in the wake of the deadliest mass shooting in its history, as the families of the 50 victims wait for authorities to release their bodies for burial. The country's prime minister and her cabinet are discussing how to prevent similar attacks in the future. CBS's Meg Oliver reports.
In Christchurch, New Zealand, crowds continue to pay their respects outside two mosques where more than 4 dozen worshippers lost their lives.
Your support is overwhelming. I just want you to know that. And we're not going to allow few fanatics to divide our community. We're one.
According to investigators, the evidence suggests the gunman acted alone. The 28-year-old Australian is one of 3 suspects arrested after the attack, but police say the others were not involved.
We're all gobsmacked. We don't know what to think.
The suspected killer's family went on television to express their shock and their sorrow at his alleged involvement.
We're so sorry for the families over there, for the dead and the injured. Yeah, we just can't think nothing else. Just want to go home and hide.
The attacker reportedly adhered to a white nationalist ideology that painted immigrants as invaders and mentioned President Donald Trump by name in a 70-page manifesto. President Trump was asked if that movement poses a growing global threat. Mr. Trump said he didn't think so.
It is on the rise, and the president should call it out, but sadly, he's not doing that.
Acting Chief of Staff Mick Mulvaney said the criticism is misdirected.
Every time something bad happens everywhere around the world, folks who don't like Donald Trump seem to blame it on Donald Trump.
New Zealand's prime minister said her government is exploring ways to prevent another mass shooting, an effort that could lead to stricter gun laws. Meg Oliver, CBS News, New York.
Thousands mourned the Ethiopian plane crash victim Sunday, accompanying 17 empty caskets draped in the national flag through the streets of the capital as some victims' relatives fainted and fell to the ground. The service came one day after officials began delivering bags of earth to family members of the 157 victims of the crash instead of their remains of their loved ones because the identification process is expected to take such a long time. People are stranded in cars and in their homes amidst historic flooding in the Midwest. Snow melted and heavy rain, and that caused widespread flooding in Nebraska. One man was killed while trying to rescue stranded motorists. Another man whose brother's house is flooded says the devastation is unlike anything he has seen.
I was blown away. The utter devastation. The power of nature is incredible.
The National Weather Service says the flooding will continue across parts of the Mississippi and Missouri River basins.
And for the first time in a while, it seems like we're not talking about those rain chances either. We've seen plenty of sunshine for today, and the good news is we see that continue as we head into the work week. You'll notice here on satellite and radar just a few of those stray showers to the north as that low pressure system moves just to our north. Few clouds as well, and as we scan the skies, we're actually looking at a mostly clean sweep with those rain chances staying to our north and to our east. Those temperatures, though, a little bit chilly, some spots into those mid 40s. We're already seeing some spots dropping into the lower 40s, and really we'll continue to see that drop as we head into the overnight hours. But those winds, they're calm, but they're starting to shift out of the northwest now. They were southwest earlier today. That brought in a little bit warmer air, but now they're going to come from the north, which means cooler temperatures as we head into your Monday. We also do see that sunshine continuing. We also bring back some scattered rain chances, but the good news is they are only scattered, not widespread. We'll break down that full forecast coming up in just a little bit. Macy.
All right, thank you, Paige. It's time once again for Hoops Hysteria on WYMT.com and your chance to play our NCAA tournament bracket. You can also compete against some of the WYMT staff and win a 65-inch smart TV. A $1 million prize will be awarded nationally if someone correctly picks all the games. You can register now and fill out your bracket for your chance to become that lucky winner. Pairings were announced tonight, and you have until 15 minutes before the first game, that's on March 21st, to sign up. Now, Sports Director Marcus Browning has more details on that, and he joins us now. Marcus?
Yeah, Macy, the road to the Final Four begins this Thursday for the Kentucky Wildcats as we learn where they will play their first round matchup this evening. Kentucky is headed to Jacksonville after a shorter than expected weekend in the SEC tournament. John Calipari says that everyone is now one and done. Win or go home, survive in advance. Coach Cal thinks the way Kentucky has prepared this season will help his team make a run these next couple of weeks.
Look, we've used the year to prepare these guys for this tournament. And the stuff that we just went through, you know, where you have your chances and a couple things happen out of your control, a couple things happen in your control, and all of a sudden you drop a game. What a great lesson going in.
So it's another battle of the Wildcats in the NCAA tournament for Kentucky. UK taking on Abilene Christian down in Jacksonville, Florida. The game is slated for this Thursday right here on WYMT. Tip-off is set for 7:10 p.m. that evening. We'll have more from John Calipari and the Wildcats coming up here in just a few minutes in sports. Macy.
All right, thank you, Marcus. A new project coming to Pikeville is hoping to put coal miners back to work. The solar panel farm could create jobs for up to 200 construction workers and 50 permanent jobs. WYMT's Marianne Fletcher has the details.
A project 3 years in the making.
Was the biggest renewable project ever in Appalachia.
Toyota recently announced their partnership with a 700-acre solar panel farm in Pike County. RH Group is one company spearheading the project.
Electricity will be generated and will go on the PJM, which is the wholesale power for the entire East Coast. Services about 65 million people.
Vice President Ryan Johns says this is a game changer for the region.
For one, we've never had renewable energy as an option.
While putting Eastern Kentucky on the map for new jobs.
It's going to give Kentucky a chance to compete for the projects like an Apple and Amazon, Facebook, Google.
Project co-developer Adam Edlin says the best part of this project is simple.
And the best part is that we will create new jobs for out-of-work coal miners.
While utilizing the skills they already have.
Coal miners are the best trained workers in the world. These are people who show up for work every day. They are used to working in a team. They are highly trained.
After the failure of recent projects, Edlin ensures this project is set in stone.
This project is going to happen, and we strongly believe that people need to keep their word, and we intend to do that here.
Diversifying the region's economy.
It will take around a year and a half to build the around 500,000 panel farm. Tonight's episode of 60 Minutes featured a familiar company, AppHarvest, a high-tech agricultural company. AppHarvest was originally going to base its operations out of Pike County, but now they plan to be based near Moorhead. Reporters spent a week in eastern Kentucky to learn about the company as part of a segment on Revolution's Rise of the Rest Seed Fund, which invested in AppHarvest. The fund is intended to encourage venture capital investment in Middle America. Governor Matt Bevin will spend this upcoming week either vetoing bills or signing them into law. A big focus this session in the Republican-controlled legislature was abortion. Last week, 3 anti-abortion bills got the final okay from lawmakers. Now 2 of them are blocked after a federal judge's ruling. Matthew Rand looks at the legal challenges ahead.
Certainly speaks volumes about their priorities and the way in which they frankly don't care whether they're following the law or not. They simply want to be able to push their ideology.
That was Governor Matt Bevin on Friday, responding to a legal challenge from the American Civil Liberties Union of House Bill 5, which creates a new ban on abortions based on the unborn's sex, race, color, national origin, or disability.
The people of Kentucky, again, fortunately, don't agree with that.
Also on Friday, U.S. District Judge David J. Hale granted the ACLU's request to block enforcement of House Bill 5 and also Senate Bill 9, the so-called fetal heartbeat bill, which bans abortions as early as 6 weeks of pregnancy, before most women know they are pregnant. In his decision, Judge Hale argued SB 9 challenges the Due Process Clause of the 14th Amendment. He also cited previous Supreme Court rulings that a state may not prohibit any woman from making the ultimate decision to terminate her pregnancy before viability. The judge's temporary restraining order allowed Kentucky's only abortion clinic, EMW Women's Surgical Center in Louisville, to resume seeing patients Saturday. The center had turned patients away on Friday after the governor signed SB 9 into law. The clinic's own Dr. Ernest Marshall is quoted as saying women's health care should be a priority in our state. It should never be compromised to score political points. The order expires in 14 days to allow time for a hearing. Reporting in Lexington, Matthew Rand, WKYT.
Lawmakers will return to Frankfort March 28th for the last day of the legislative session. A Metro Nashville police sergeant was injured after he was dragged down Broadway by an off-road vehicle. You can see that here in this video. Around 100 dirt bikes, motorcycles, ATVs, and four-wheelers illegally took over Broadway Saturday afternoon. One of the vehicles struck Sergeant John Bork and he was dragged into a gate. Sergeant Bork received minor injuries and was treated at Vanderbilt University Medical Center. He was released and is recovering back at home. The driver who hit him then drove off, and police are still looking for them. Crime scene investigators carefully gathering evidence for hours inside the home of 24-year-old Anthony Camello. Police say the construction worker of Ellingtonville gunned down Mafia head Francesco Frankie Boy Callie Wednesday night, and sources say it was all because he had a crush on Callie's niece, a college student from Brooklyn, but the boss did not approve. And still to come at 11, one Kentucky boy won a social media challenge, naming him a super fan for Big Blue Nation. Hear from him next.
And temperatures drop for your Monday, but how low will they go? We'll break down that full forecast coming up in just a few minutes.
The